celebrating. Hello. Hoping you and the family all doing well.
Habari gani.
Habari gani.
The response for the day after Habari gani is what's the news, what's happening, what it is, what it looked like. The greeting is Ujima.
Ujima.
Ujima. U-J-I-M-A. Ujima.
So wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, repeat it with us. It's
Ujima. Yes. Can you say Ujima?
There we go.
In the village? We appreciate the gathering, and my wife was sharing technical difficulty. It be like that sometimes.
Yes.
We can't depend on electronics like we really think we can, because when the grid go down, all of us going down anyway. But the drums, they're still around, and in parts of Africa, the drums are still significant. It's not just for coronations of kings and queens and, for good timing and whatever. This is still their, their cell phone. That's what that is. They still use this for communication. But on today, the principle is Ujima, which means to build and to maintain our communities together. The community, we used to call it, village. It's still the village. Mm-hmm. But we're supposed to maintain and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems. And we're supposed to share them together. That's what this means. There's a term in Africa. There's a word, and more than a word, it's a concept. It's a way of being. It's called Ubuntu. Ubuntu means humanity, and it means interconnectivity. It means responsibility for one another. And even though that principle, that concept is all over the entire, continent of Africa, that word Ubuntu was derived or created by the Zulu and the Hausa people. Hausa. That clicking sound. Hausa.
They had to click when they said
it.
Okay.
Oh, you thought I was just...
Oh, no, I know it's
something.
A reason for
I had a speech impediment.
No, you were clicking for a reason. I didn't know why.
Yeah, it's not a speech impediment. That's how they talk. They speak with the clicking sound. And that distinguished them. That's a part of who they are. So that's what they even teach their children. So when you want your people to know a thing, then you teach that thing and help them to apply that to their everyday living. So the Hausa, the Coast, you got it? Kosa. And the Zulu people, they lived just like everybody else in Africa with that oneness of being. There is no me or my, it's us, it's we. Like in readings, in the teaching of our story here as an enslaved people, when someone came on to the plantation to see the master, and if the master was sick, and they asked one of the slaves, "Where's your master?" and they would say, "We sick." We sick. Not looking at their situation of enslavement, but they were still looking at the totality of being in the midst of a oneness, a one concept mind. And they were saying, we sick, the master's sick, so we're looking at tradition and culture and not just at the situation. So we be sick. So I used to wonder when I was growing up, and I heard them say that, I said, why are they relating themselves to their situation, not knowing what the customs were, not knowing what they were rooted in when they came here. So it didn't matter to them. So that oneness of being, that Ubuntu, meant that I am because we are, and we are because I am. We're one in being.
So tell those who just came on one more time today's principle. Some people just hopped up after you'd already said what the principle was.
The principle for today is Ujima. 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 So we give thanks and praises for that principle. So now that a truth has been revealed, and the next thing we do with the truth is, that's right, apply it to our everyday living. When word says, the most principal thing to get in life is wisdom, and in getting wisdom to get understanding. If you hear a truth and you don't apply it to your everyday living, then it was right over your head. You missed it. So when you gravitate and to this, the word that's spoken, that energy that's placed out there, when you begin to live this thing, this living thing, this word, when you begin to live this truth, then you understand.
Tell them about the symbol that's on that paper, along with the term itself, the Kwanzaa principle. Then you have a symbol on there as well.
All the Ndinkra, it's called an Ndinkra symbol, and it originated really in the country of Ghana on the west coast of Africa. And the symbols mean something. They're not just nice drawings or creative artwork, but these symbols, these drawings, mean different words. And those people teach these symbols, the symbolic meanings behind the sign, just like we have alphabets, to learn as children, to learn how to connect and to write and to expound on certain things. Like some countries use alphabets like we do here, but in some countries, they use symbols. They use characters to represent their language. So that's what the Akan, people of Ghana utilize.
Okay. I don't think we talked about that the other night. So.
This is we look. We can't give you everything. These are Kwanzaa moments, not a Kwanzaa presentation. This is Kwanzaa moments. And like I shared earlier, and y'all didn't get it because the tape wasn't running, but my wife is a hard taskmaster. She's keeping me hard pressed to the timing. So I'm trying to get as much in as possible. And like I said, just to whet your palates. And I hope, I seriously hope that you embrace, this piece that we're doing, not just to hear it and to feel good about it, but to apply it to your everyday living. Not just, galvanize on it or think about it during this time of year. If I see you in June and I holler out, Habarigani, I would expect you to give me at least one of the principles, Anyway, let it be entrenched in you, And I'm talking about people, all people. If I come up to you and if you on this line here, if you are Asian, if you're Hispanic, if you're Caucasian, if I approach you and I expect you to give me some response, and I'm thankful, and I'm glad it just came back to my memory. A young lady came over today, a Caucasian, and she was looking for my wife to pick up something. And before she left the door, she looked at me and she said, "Larry, Habarigani."
Oh, did she? Oh, a former neighbor. Oh, Barbara said Habarigani.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said Habarigani. Okay. And I looked at her and said, Ujima. I'm like, check you out. Yeah, I'm thankful, because some people, if they are taught and they, and if we put it out there for everyone to know, because I think that there are a lot of people here in this country need to know who we are. We should be telling our own narrative in this land, so that people will stop stereotyping us, and thinking that there isn't much to us, we're supposed to be putting it out there. And we more than have proven ourselves to be, from a great people. So the more we delve into our story, and we have some of the baddest historians on the planet, Dr. Ivan Sertima, Dr. Ben Jacques, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Who else? There Asa Hilliard. There's a lot of black or African historians out there that know our story and that are willing to, or that are sharing it. All we have to do is seek it out. I shared this before. If you seek the truth shall seek you.
And we have local people right here in Hampton Roads area.
You have people in your family that are historians. A lot of our children don't talk to our elders. Like we come from, before it was written, we come from an oral tradition. So our ancestors spoke the truth, and they spoke about the griots. They knew the history of everybody in not just the village that they came from, but the villages surrounding the villages. They knew the births, the deaths, the scoundrels, the great achievers. They knew everything about everybody, and they taught their certain children those truths so that as they got older and they expired, that these young ones would rise up and begin to tell the story. So we need to start implementing those things that caused us to be great even before we got to this nation here, this country here. And it's still incumbent upon us to really inform, to share with people about our story. Now with Kwanzaa, we lit the, and when we're talking about Ujima, collective work and responsibility, how we are to galvanize and to become one people, human race, to become one human. When my wife put out last night that, our center candle, that represents the people, the black candle was running kind of low. And my other one was, it's short-lived too. And she put a blast out and asked, did anybody know where we could purchase a candle from? And Sister Lorraine Press, I appreciate you.
Yes.
Give thanks and praises. She stepped up and she said, hey man, I have a candle, a black candle here that y'all could get. That's what village people are supposed to do. Reach out and let them know, hey, I'm a resource. I'm a help for you, because it's not just about, thank you, baby, for realizing that won't just your candle. That's our candle. That's our candle. And everybody, is going to get some of what it signifies. So we give thanks to you for sharing that with us. I had to put that little piece out there for you. Not that you were looking for it, but I'm just giving it to you because I'm on the air and I'm talking.
Yep. And I'm thankful that you helped me out with the candle situation, because with the black candle being lit every night, it's going to, of course, burn down sooner. And that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Getting mighty low.
So by next year, I have a box of black candles, and the other ones are more prevalent, and easier to obtain. But the black one is normally always hard to come by. And I don't know why, though, because not that many people are doing Kwanzaa. So who's burning black candles? Well, anyway, I'm going to get a box next time. Yeah. But the middle candle that you light the first night, the first day of the celebration or the acknowledgement of Kwanzaa, which means first fruit, the harvest. And our children now are our harvest. Now, the black is always lit first. Then you alternate. You go to the red the next day. The first night or day is Umoja, which means unity. Kujichagulia is the second day. Self-determination. You have the right to name and define who you be. You don't have to, not be yourself like some people do. The Temptations said a long time ago, Plastic Man, or Earth, Wind, and Fire said everybody is, the whole world is a masquerade. Everybody wear another face. People are afraid to be who they are because of rejection or shamefulness or whatever, but we have to learn how to feel good about ourselves. And if you don't feel good about yourself, then look at the things that you were created to be and start living your purpose. And then you'll start holding your head up, not piously, but holding your head up, feeling good about yourself.
And that's something we really need to relay to our kids. During this time where, kids sometimes get put down and bullied and so forth. And just to get them to understand that you hold your head up, whether somebody else is recognized or not. You recognize who you are.
Yes. Feel good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be your best cheerleader. And then in the village, we should be cheering each other on. Mm-hmm. We're very supportive of you. We're very committed to you. Mm-hmm. And so the first candle, Umoja, unity. Second candle, Kujichagulia, self-determination. And today's candle is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility.
So we'll say that one more time because some people probably might be just coming on again. So tell them today's principle and what it means again.
Today's principle is Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility. That means that, we're one people. That everything that we do is about. Matter of fact, in this country, we teach you the concept of, or the principle of, me first. In order for me to love you, I have to love myself. That's not African. That's not African principles at all. African principle is the Most High first, people, your neighbors, your peoples second, and then in that scale, on that totem pole, the individual is the last one. So I'm supposed to love the Creator, love everybody, and then I love myself.
Tell them real quick, we haven't talked about the story you told when I thought I was recording live and I wasn't, with the children and the sweets.
They're there to embrace wholeheartedly, for people that don't understand sometimes wording, you have to paint a picture. That's why we're thankful for creative people that paint or does photography, to give images, to show the story for those that don't hear the story. Because some people, even though they may have ears, they still don't hear, for whatever their reasons. But what's said is that there was an anthropologist that came into the village, and he walked up to the children and he had a large bag of sweets. And he looked at the youth and he said, I'm going to place this bag of sweets by this tree, the baobab tree, the tree of life. He said, I'm going to place this bag here. And whoever gets to this tree first can have all the sweets. So he walked back to the youth and he said, get set, go. And to his amazement, all the children just stood there and locked hands. And they went to the tree together. Mm-hmm. And when he got to the tree and he looked at them eating the sweets, and he looked at one young brother and he said, don't you realize that you could have had all of this to yourself? And he looked at him, and then he looked at all the other children, and they smiled. They looked at him and said, well, what good would that be if one had everything and everybody else had nothing? So that's the principle of, that oneness of being, that connectiveness. It's always about, we're going to look out for one another.
Yes.
We're going to look out for one another. Now, did I share the piece about what my mom did?
No.
Too, that was off the air too?
Yeah.
When we was growing up, and probably some of the people, from my village, is on the phone now, on the air with us. Well, my mom would, sometimes she would say, baby, I need you to go over to Miss B's house and get me 2 eggs. And tell her I'll give it back to her after I come back from the store today. So I'll go to Miss B's house, and Miss B, Mom says she need 2 eggs and she'll get it back to you after she come from the store. She said, well, baby, tell your mother that's okay, because I'm getting ready to send somebody over there to get me a couple of slices of bread. So that's how the village worked. You know, everybody looked out for everybody. And in the village, we didn't call you, you know, everybody by their government name or Mr. or Mrs., which was a must if you didn't know them like that. You would call your elders or people that are older than you call them auntie or uncle so and so, you know, or you look at young people that you grew up with, you know, when somebody asks you who is that, oh, that's my cousin. That's my brother, my sister. You know, we embraced, and they still do that on the continent today. You know, they believe in, you know, shard. Yeah, they believe in, you know, hooking up and linking up. That's how we live. That's how you live. And I see all my people, I see all of you coming online to share this evening. Yeah, all of y'all's my peoples, you know, and I appreciate, you know, the opportunity that the Most High has given me to be a part of you, and you a part of me. I hear you, Michelle. That's right. I'm your uncle.
Yes.
Yes. We give thanks.
Yeah, we are so appreciative to have everybody with us this evening. And again, it is my fault that we are starting this late because we did, I guess I can call it now, dress rehearsal. We did a whole 20 minutes only for me to realize I wasn't live. Well, we weren't live. So for us, this is the second take for the night. So I hope those of us who came on looking for me at 8 o'clock and I thought we were live and we weren't, I hope you did, you know, hop back on again, and I'll be more together tomorrow night. Didn't happen. Night 1, night 2 was smooth. I don't know what happened with the night.
Well, tonight was smooth too.
Yeah.
And I give thanks that, you know, all of you that are still with us or came on, you know, we appreciate you, you know, and we can't share enough. And I think as a village people, you know, we should be really doing more of this, you know, the sharing of the truths that you know, because everybody has something, you know, to help everybody to build on, you know, everybody. I mean, we should stop faking the funk and being real and hearted about what we do in this life that we live. You know, it's important. We need each other, you know, and as things happen in life, you know, the COVID virus, the racial disharmony, you know, build up and all the other madness that come with it. When people ask, what is this? I just tell it's just life. Yeah. It's just life. And the only way we're going to get through this is having a relationship with the Creator and having a sincere, earnest relationship with one another. That's the only way we're going to get through.
Exactly. And I would like to say to you all, those of you all who still have younger children that still have grandparents, you know, for a long time, I really felt fortunate. I was, I guess, into my really early 50s, mid 50s, and I still had at least one grandparent. And when I was still teaching, I would make mention of a grandmother. My students would look at me like, you have a grandmother? And at that time, I was a young grandmother myself, so I really felt honored to still have grandparents. And my oldest granddaughter, she actually had 2 great-greats and a great and grandmother. So she was really blessed for a good little while. But in saying that, just be sure that your kids get a chance, you know, to have that relationship with those elder family members and have them to listen to them, because elder family members can tell you stories that nobody else can. And, you know, once you don't have that elder family member anymore, that part of your family history oftentimes gets lost. So it's really important, if, you know, you still have younger children and, you know, there's still grandparents in the picture and great-grandparents, what a blessing. Be sure that, you know, those younger kids do get a chance to speak with, and not so much speak, but maybe listen to some of the older family stories, because that's history that when it's gone, it's gone. And I'm not able to respond other than to say to everybody, thank you all so much. And so we acknowledge everybody is watching. I see your names up there. So thank you all so much for watching. And also to remind you that I have created some fine art photography images to go with each night of Kwanzaa. We'll be presenting this right around 8 o'clock, hopefully more so on time this time, right up through January the 1st. And I have produced an image to go with each night of Kwanzaa. So I'm presenting those images in my Captured Images by Barbara Photography Facebook page. They're also, I believe they're appearing on my Barbara Sykes Gibson personal Facebook page. And if you're following me on Facebook, please jump in and join my Facebook group, which is Gallery Talk. I'm about to forget the name of it, which is Gallery Talk by creative photographer Barbara Gibson. It's a Facebook group for all who enjoy the visual arts. So it's not solely about photography. You don't have to be a photographer. But if you just enjoy visual arts, painting, drawing, sculpture, photography, anything that's visual and artistic, we talk about it in the group. We, share images in the group. So please join Gallery Talk by creative photographer Barbara Gibson. And again, thank everyone for coming on. And on January 1st, I'm going to present all of the images that I've created to go along with this Kwanzaa series. And I will post them at a website, and they'll be available for your purchase. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see everybody tomorrow evening again.
On time.
On time. I won't be sitting, we won't be up here talking to find out that we're not live. I'll have it together. It'll be like it was nights 1 and 2. The night was just a little glitch.
And don't think that I hear some people talking about my peoples, when they're talking about CP time, and not Charles Epps either, talking about my people's time. And in Africa, a watch is just decorative. It means nothing really. That's why the people are so laid back and so stressless. Is because they don't get caught up in the timing or the moments.
But we do value your time. Yeah,
we do. We really do. So to know that it's rooted in us, to be slipping sometimes. But truly, we, like my wife said, we did the whole shebang, the whole format or the programming, And I guess it was just for she and I, because it wasn't even running, but we had to stick and stay. Her thing was we shared with the people that we were going to be on. So, we just suck it up and do what we do. So thank you. Again, we're going to end with Harambe.
Okay. If you weren't here for the first 2 nights, we end our Kwanzaa moment with Harambe, pull together. So you just hold your hand in a fist, bring it up, and you're going to pull it straight down. And each time we pull down like this, we're going to say Harambe, which means pull together. So everybody together, wherever you are, we'll do it 7 times for the 7 candles, the 7 nights of Kwanzaa. So let's go. Harambe. Harambe. 2. Harambe. 3. Harambe. 4. Harambe. 5. Harambe.